Amen. The word of the Lord in 2 Samuel chapter 9. I'm going to look just around a few verses between verse 1 and 13. So verse 1 said, "And David said, Is there yet any that is left in the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake? And that was in the house of Saul a servant whose name was Zippah. And when they had called him unto David, the king said unto him, Art thou Zippah? And he said, Thy servant is he. And the king said, Is there not yet any in the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness of God unto him? And Zippah said unto the king, Jonathan hath yet a son, which is lame on his feet. And the king said unto him, Well, where is he? And Zippah said unto the king, Behold, he's in the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, in Lodebar. Then King David sent and fetched him out of the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, in Lodebar." Look at verse 7. "And David said unto him," meaning Mephibosheth, "Fear not, for I will surely show thee kindness for Jonathan thy father's sake, and I will restore thee all the land of Saul thy father, and thou shalt eat bread at my table continually." Look at verse 13. "So Mephibosheth dwelt in Jerusalem, for he did eat continually at the king's table, and was lame on both his feet." God bless you. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord on tonight. And I want tonight to just talk about the season of the unexpected blessing. Just tell somebody next to you, you're in the season of the unexpected blessing. One of the things that each of us must know is that whatever we are going through is on God's radar. That even if your situation is not picked up on the radar of the closest people around you, you have to be aware that your situation is under divine observation. The truth is that though it may appear that it has gone unnoticed, you have to know and get this revelation that God will rearrange the affairs of your life to position you for his will to come to pass in your life. There are many of you right now that have become a little anxious and nervous about some shifting, some movement in your life, but you need to know that God is literally setting you up for a season unlike you've ever experienced in your life. There are many of you today that literally have come in this place and you're about to resign to your reality because you're looking at where you are and you've kind of concluded that this is the way things are always going to be. I've prayed, I've cried, and yet there's been no divine response. So perhaps God is saying to me, just accept my reality as it is. God sent this preacher here tonight to remind you that he knows what's going on in your life, and you're about to enter into an hour unlike never before in your life. That there is something in the atmosphere that God says you need to start making preparations. I need to say that again. There is something in the atmosphere that says you need to start making preparations, because this is the season of the unexpected blessing. This is the blessing that's going to have people who gave up on you, people who looked at you and said you wasn't going to be nothing, that literally going to scratch their heads and wonder how somebody like you walked into the blessing that you're about to walk into. This is the season of people who've been looked over, people who never thought that they will ever amount to anything, people who were in the rear. God's about to rearrange things and bring you to a place of destiny and purpose. Tell your neighbor, this is my season coming. In order to really understand this, you really have to understand the principle of our text tonight. His name is Mephibosheth. And in order to understand Mephibosheth, you really have to spend just a little time beginning to understand his history, because when you begin to look at Mephibosheth's predicament, the Bible teaches us that he is lame at both feet. Somebody shout lame. He is lame. He lacks the ability to progress at the pace in which God originally intended for him. He does not have the ability to move. There's some places he ought to be by now, but because he's lame, he cannot move at the pace in which he intends to move. Why is he lame? He is lame because when he was a young lad, when the Philistine army came and assaulted his homeland, someone, a nurse, picked him up in an attempt to rescue him out of harm's way, but yet dropped him inadvertently. And as a result of that, Mephibosheth is lame at both feet. I'm talking to somebody right now. The truth of the matter is that there's somebody who came in your life and picked you up, but the truth is they dropped you, and as a result of being dropped, you should be somewhere else by now, but you are not at the place where you desire to be. But I've come to declare over your night that even if people have dropped you, you. God's about to pick you up. God's about to turn you around. God's about to take you to a place of destiny. Touch your neighbor and say, I've been dropped before, but tell him it ain't over till God says so. But not only that, understanding Mephibosheth's predicament, you must also look at Mephibosheth's pain, because the scripture is teaching us tonight that Mephibosheth does not have any adequate relationship in his life. His father and grandfather have both perished in battle. His father Jonathan, his grandfather Saul have died at the sword, and the Bible declares to us it was at age 5 that now he does not have adequate enforcement in his life. No one to speak positive words in his life, nobody to reaffirm to him who he is, nobody to remind him of his destiny. And I've come to talk to somebody tonight that your pain is so private because there were people who have gone AWOL in your life, somebody who was supposed to be there to speak in your life, but relationships have died, situations have perished. But I've come to declare what you already know is that he's a father for the fatherless, he's a mother for the motherless, and doesn't matter who wasn't there, I thank God he's always been there all along. But wait a minute, here is the real situation in Mephibosheth's life. It is not so much his predicament, he is lame. It is not so much his pain, he does not have adequate reinforcement in his life. But here is the real crux of the matter. It's his placement, because Mephibosheth is in a place called Lodabar. Let the church say Lodabar. Lodabar is a place of isolation. It is a place of social outcast and rejection. It is a place where when people don't know what to do with it, they put you in Lodabar. It's a place after you don't really fit any particular profile, they just lump you in one category and call you the Lodabar clan. And I've come to talk to somebody right now that there were some people that didn't know how to handle you. There was no category to put you in. And the truth of the matter is, every day you feel like you're in your own private Lodabar. You're in a place of isolation and desolation. But God told me to tell you, Lodabar is not your destiny. And even though you're in Lodabar right now, you ain't gonna be there the next time we see you. And God told me to tell somebody today that you need to get ready, because he's about to bring you out of that hellish place, that God's about to rearrange the affairs of your life and move you into a season that's about to blow your natural mind. There is something powerful about to happen in your life, something like never before. And somebody tonight ought to reach up and grab it out of the atmosphere. Just look at your neighbor and just tell them, take one last look at me. Tell them this the last time you're going to see me at this mess. Tell them this the last time you're going to see me at that level. Tell them God's about to bring me into a season of the unexpected. I don't know about you, but I can shout on what God's about to do in my life. I can give God glory before it even shows up, because I know that all these things have been happening in my life for a reason. Wait a minute. I've come to talk to you today. Now I've come a little different tonight. I've come tonight to tell you not to so much hear a sermon, but I've come tonight on divine assignment to tell you that what I'm about to release in this house is a prophetic word. And I'm getting ready to make some announcements, and when I make these announcements, your life will never be the same.